Welcome, secret treasure hunting fans. My name is B-Land, and this is the B-Land theory on the solve for the secret treasure of St. Augustine, buried by Byron Price back in 1981-ish. So my goal today is to demonstrate how the poem and the painting correlate together to pinpoint the cast location within a 10 by 10 area. I'm pretty confident that my theory is correct, but again, it's just a theory until proven otherwise. So before I give away all the secrets and location of the cask, I kindly ask you to please do not dig this area. It's a historic area. It doesn't need to be dug up and ruined. I've allegedly probed the area. There's a lot of sprinkler lines, electrical lines, rocks, all kinds of stuff underneath the ground that it makes it very difficult to determine whether you're on a cask or a rock. So with that being said, I really think it needs to be GPR'd to be pulled out. So unless you have a GPR system, please do not go after this location. So what I've come to realize while analyzing this for the last 2 years is that the poem is a description of everything that you see from the dig site location, whereas the painting is an actual road walking map of the dig site location itself. So breaking down the painting, let's discuss some of the basic clues first. There's an outline of the state of Florida that's inside the water and clouds. That's kind of driving you towards that it's buried in the state of Florida. Then you have the flag that the conquistador is holding. That is very similar to an outline on a map of the Matanzas River that's located right there in St. Augustine. Inside that flag, you're going to see an outline of Castillo de San Marcos. This is the historical castle that's located right there in St. Augustine, and this outline is eerily similar to how that castle is built. So I think he's trying to tell you that the cask is there in St. Augustine with those clues. Now, if we dive into the clues a little more, it's showing you an actual walking and road map of the dig site. So you have the stone in the middle here. This is the actual position of the stone in relation to other clues within the painting. So how I've broken this down is you kind of see this figure here. It's like a long figure that it could look like an alligator's mouth, but I also see here it looks like a hand pointing with a finger pointing, and inside that finger you're going to have the numbers displayed 2 and 4. And I'll show you these details in a closer view in the coming slides. So 2-4 is the National Treasury located in downtown St. Augustine. That is across the street from Constitutional Park, which is the oldest park in America. Now, he has a finger here pointing 2-4. So what I think he's telling you to do is start at 2-4. So start at the Treasury. Out front of the Treasury is a sidewalk. If you look here in the painting, there looks to be like some kind of a sidewalk or stairs that are moving to the left. So if you follow from the Treasury walking down the sidewalk to the left, you run into the World War I monument, which is an eagle face on that monument, which I'll show you here in the coming slides. But if you look here in this location of the painting, you'll see kind of an eagle face with the beak kind of staring right at you. Now, across from that World War I monument is the market. It's the first ever market in the United States, and you can see here in the painting there's a big M there, and I believe he's telling you that's the market. Also above the M there is a small A, and I think he's telling you that's Avenue de Menendez, which is the main road right there in this area. If you look above the market, you're going to see that's the Ponce de Leon circle, which is the famous statue there of Juan Ponce de Leon. Now, if you look under the rider in the painting, you're going to see a big J here. I think he's signifying that's Juan. Also, inside the horse, you're going to see an S here. I think that he's saying that this is a statue. So this is kind of showing you a general location. Now, back behind the statue to the right is the Bridge of Lions. If you look here on the face, you have what looks to be like a bridge going over, bridging the nose and the forehead, with water kind of running underneath it, showing that it's a bridge, and I think that he's telling you that's the Bridge of Lions. So let's look at this in a little closer detail. So again, you have the 2-4 here, which is the treasury. If you walk down the path, you run into the eagle face, which is a World War I monument. Across from there is the big M, which is the market. And you have the little A above it for Avenue de Menendez Road. Then you have the big J here, showing you that this is Juan, with an S here, statue. And then also to the back right, you can see that he's got this bridge here, which would be the Bridge of Lions. Now breaking down these clues again, the finger pointing, the 2-4 there in a more zoomed in version, you can see it here as the 2-4, which is the address of the treasury. The eagle face, this is a tough one. Some people see it right away, some don't. But if I'm looking at the beak is right through here, and it has like a mouth that wraps around here, and it looks like an eagle. And then here is an actual picture of that eagle at that statue. There's 4 of these surrounding this statue. Now, across from that eagle is the first ever market, which is shown here in this picture. And then you have that big M in the painting for the market. The little A above it, Avenue de Menendez, which is located right here. All this is right next to the street, Avenue de Menendez. Now, looking at the Juan Ponce de Leon statue, you'll see the rider has an S here. I think that he's telling you that it's this statue here of Juan Ponce de Leon, which is a historical statue right in Plaza Constitution. Right outside of Plaza Constitution. And then he put a big J right under it, telling you that's Juan Ponce de Leon. Now, I think he put a backdoor clue here, and it looks like that there is an outline of a crow. So there's an expression, go as a crow flies. Well, the crow is sitting right here on the cheek of the Indian in the painting, and he's looking straight at the jewel, which is dig site. So if you can go straight here and figure out that this is Juan, there's kind of a backdoor area to get right to this dig site as well. Now, looking behind the Juan statue is the Bridge of Lions. You can see the Bridge of Lions here in the distance, and this Juan statue would be right around here. And he's showing you a bridge, and there's actually a bridge there. I don't want to get too far ahead, but this is the green picket fence that he refers to in the poem. So, my theory is that it was located, or he dug in this area of the park, which would be just west of the statue. And I don't have all of the landscapes. It's really hard to find something in the 80s, a picture of this area in the 80s, but it's changed a lot over the years. Right now, there's probably like 8 palm trees around this circle. I saw one, I believe, from like the 70s where it was only 4 palm trees. So it's hard to tell where the palm tree was located. And I say palm tree because that's what he shows you in the painting. But I believe he says it's at the base of a tall tree. So I believe there was a tall tree right in this area somewhere, just west of the statue, and it would have been dug right here somewhere. So let's analyze the poem portion and see how that corresponds. So the first line of the poem is the first chapter written in water. St. Augustine is the first chapter of the U.S. Near the dig site that we just pointed out in Juan Ponce de Leon Circle is the statue of Juan Ponce de Leon. And on that statue at the base, you'll see a sign there that says that he was the discoverer of Florida. Juan Ponce de Leon landed near this spot 1513. As you guys know, Juan was a Spanish conquistador who led the first ever European expedition to Florida, and they arrived at that spot through the water by boat. The expression written in water is one that means that something doesn't last long. In this area, originally it was the Timucua Indians had the land. Then Spain came and took over the land. Then England took the land from Spain, and then Spain took it back again after that, and then finally it became the USA. Near men with windrows. At the east of the dig site, you can see sailors and sailboats in the marina. The marina is literally right across the street from the dig site. Windrows is a sailing device that shows you, or sailors, which way the wind is blowing. So near men with windrows would fit in this location because you can see the marina right there full of sailboats. Behind bending branches and a green picket fence. So this is a marker to me. He's saying that the dig site is behind bending branches. Well, if you look to the west of the dig site, you're going to see the start of Constitution Plaza Park. And if you can see here in the pictures, that's where you have these large oak trees that have these wild bending branches. So I think he's telling you as a marker, it's not inside Constitution Park. So it's behind these bending branches and then behind a green picket fence. Well, if you're at the dig site and you look the other way, then you're going to be behind the Bridge Alliance, which has a green picket fence running all the way across it. At the base of a tall tree, you can still hear the honking. The cask is located at the base of a palm tree. I say a palm tree because that's the kind of tree that he's showing you in the painting. So I believe that there would have been a palm tree in that area where it would have been buried at the base of that palm tree, between the palm tree and the statue, as a marker. Now you can still hear the honking. The honking can be heard by both cars and boats. So in sight from the dig site is Avenida Menendez Road, which you're going to hear honking from cars on that road. But also back in the 80s, the sailboats used to honk their horns to open bridges, and still practice in some areas of Florida. But before the technology was there, I believe, I could be wrong on this, but they would honk, and there was somebody there that would open the bridge for them. Shell, limestone, silver, salt. This is the most difficult line of the whole poem, in my opinion. But the way that I see it is shell and limestone equals coquina. There is a first Spanish monument in the park. It's made of coquina. This is located on the west of the dig site in the middle of the park. Then you have silver, which is across from there, which could be meaning the treasury or the first ever market. I think both could fit. And then you have salt, which would indicate the Matanzas River and, salt water that's there in the bay. Stars move by day. So we're back at the World War I memorial that's in sight just north of the dig site. Stars move by day, I believe to be meaning that the American flag pole that's there is the stars on the flag moving in the wind by day. So you can see stars move by day. The next line is, sails pass by night, even in darkness. So I think it's unique how the poem starts to transition at this point to a nighttime visual effect. The next three lines, he's talking about everything being seen at night. Well, sails pass by night, even in darkness. You have the marina right next to the dig site, where the boats are in sight from the dig site, and they're going to be passing at night because everything's well lit in that area. But I think he's also telling you that you may have to dig the cask up at night because of its location. The dig site is a very public place. It's going to be very difficult to retrieve during the day. So I think he's kind of giving you hints that you're going to have to do this one in the middle of the night. Like moonlight and teardrops, another night visual clue. So the way that the lights reflect off the Bridge of Lions on the salt water kind of gives you that like moonlight and teardrops. I think when he says teardrops, if you think what teardrops are, they are salty water. So I think he's referring to the salt water of the bay and the moonlight and how the lights are reflecting off the water like you see here in the image here on the left. Now, over the tall grass, years pass, rain falls. So the Plaza Constitution Park is the oldest and first park of the United States. It was specifically built, according to the plaque at the park, 1.5 times taller than it is wide. So if you look at any kind of basic tour map from the 80s or even today, the park is depicted as this kind of tall grass lot. It would start here from where the market is, and it goes all the way up to George Street. So he's saying if you're at the dig site here and you go over the tall grass, meaning go over the park, you run into years past rainfalls. Well, when you go over the park, on the other side is the government house. It's the first ever government house. So years past rains fall, I think he means that it's years went by and there was different people that were reigning over the area. So it was initially governed by Spain, then England came in and took it, then Spain got it back, and then it was U.S., I believe, the first government house of Florida. So that's how I understand over the tall grass, years past rainfalls. Well, there you have it. That's the B-Land theory. I'm confident it is located in Ponce de Leon Circle, just west of the statue, in between a tree that's non-existent. If you look at palm trees, the average life is roughly 30 to 40 years, and this area has been re-landscaped multiple times. So you really need a GPR unit. I'm hoping that maybe this catches the attention of Expedition Unknown or somebody that can help provide that GPR assistance and help retrieve this. Again, I ask you, please do not dig up this area. It's going to be foolish. You're not going to be able to land on it with a probe, and you're going to end up digging up and ruining this area and probably end up paying a fine or price for it. Thanks for listening, and please reach out to me on Twitter, and hopefully we can unearth this thing pretty soon. Thank you.